From idea to launch, my lean startup strategy, the basement, headquarters, baby. Have you ever started something so tiny that it's almost funny looking back? My first corporate office, it wasn't a downtown skyscraper. It was my daddy's basement in a house he built 2 years before I was even born. Low 7-foot ceilings, insulation hanging out, pipes, ductwork. It's cool because it's my daddy's, but it's nothing special. Let me tell you this, when people came down those stairs, they felt like giants because the ceiling was so low. They'd look around the short ceilings and say, man, I'm gonna be big time. I was like, welcome to my empire. I was way out in the country, long dirt driveway, potholes, mud if it was raining. If you didn't want to come down that driveway, I didn't care. But if you did come, you'd never forget it. You'd remember the man in the muddy basement making a dream happen. See, I wasn't trying to impress anybody, I was trying to survive and maybe make something worth being impressed by one day. It wasn't a company, it was a call. The government, the city, once asked me to sign off that I'm not running a business out there. I was like, bro, that's the easiest signature I ever gave. Because in my mind, it wasn't a business. It was just a belief. It was a dream I was chasing, not a company that I was running. It was just an idea. Here's the truth. Most people want to start a company. I wanted to start a movement, something that matters, something that multiplied. See, before you build an organization, you got to build obsession. When you've got obsession, you don't need permission. You just get your butt to work. How about my website illusion? Don't get me wrong, I still wanted to look big. So my website, oh yeah, our office had fountains, glass walls, marble floors, looked like the Taj Mahal of insurance. Meanwhile, I was downstairs in a basement, hoping the dehumidifier didn't quit and we soaked it out for the rest of the day. And for all the fancy people that needed passwords, everybody's got to have a password. I was like, everybody's gonna have the same password. It is NAA wins. My company was NAA, so you typed in NAA wins. And if you weren't my company and you found out the password, you had to type in NAA wins. That's what we did. Fake it until you make it? Nah, faith it till you make it. Because faith will take you further than fancy ever will. Beg, borrow, and build. I didn't have a staff, but I had friends who believed. Some worked for free. Some worked for hope. Some worked for pizza. Some worked for beer. My wife, she was working like crazy trying to help build the business. Anything we could do to keep them spending money. We'd tape it. We would put a wire in it. Whatever we had to do. Any penny saved was aimed at the mission. We didn't save it and store it. We aimed that penny at the mission. See, here was my promise. If you ever worked for me for free, then I would spend the rest of my life paying you back. Before you can afford people, what you do is you build people that can't afford to quit. That's the culture. Culture costs less than payroll, but it pays forever. Now, did I tell you about my interview filter? Okay, here's the deal. If people came to interview me, I would just ask them real simply, do y'all need health insurance? Do you need any benefits like that? And if they said, no, my husband's got it, my wife's got it, I go, all right, we can keep talking. But if they say, I got to have it, I go, this place is not for you, because we couldn't afford it. We had a limited staff, limited budget. So I just had to filter out, find somebody that fit, that didn't need insurance and wanted to work, didn't mind driving out in the country, didn't mind working down in the basement. If they needed a job and liked me, then it was a fit. If they didn't, move on. I just had to keep going through numbers to find the right people, and I didn't care. If you're gonna build something lean, you can't carry people that won't walk on their own. They're too heavy to drag. I'd rather interview 100 and find the right one than to get somebody quick and have to carry them. Uniform of hustle. People said, you ain't fancy. I said, call me consistent. Style don't build success. Systems build success. And my system was to keep it simple, keep it cheap, keep it moving. I always made sure that I picked tools instead of trappings, okay? I didn't want to go cheap on technology and things that help us, things that connected us to our clients faster. But if I could live without heat, or if I could live without some specialty, and I could put that money toward my business, whether it was computer screens, whether it was headphones, phone systems, fancy chairs, not so much. Standing up, getting the job done was more what I was looking for. I was not looking for comfort, I was looking for capability because I had a lean launch. Now, have you heard of word of mouth warfare? We didn't have marketing dollars. We had miles and smiles and handshakes and knocking on doors, driving through states, whatever we had to do to find the people. We wasn't measuring clicks, we was measuring commitment. I'm talking old school marketing, human people. Because when people believe in you, they tell others about you. The best advertising in my book, sweat equity. The other team can outspend you, but can they outwork you? From my basement to my breakthrough. Before long, we had a crowd in that little basement. So crowded, we had to step outside to get a private phone call. We were laughing, sweating, dreaming, and building something big and building it together. One day we looked up, we realized we were profitable. We bought the tools, we'd hired the people, we'd earned the right to expand. That's when we moved out of the basement, but not out of the mindset. I started with nothing but faith and some friends and a flickering fluorescent light. Now I tell you, you don't need money to start. You need motion. You don't need permission. You need persistence. And you don't need to be perfect. You just gotta get started. So if you got an idea, don't wait on the office, the investors, the insurance plan. Start in your basement. Start in the attic. Start where you are. Start in the mud if you must. But what matters is that you get started.